As I record this, it's Monday morning, the 9th of October, day 12, post-transplant. I didn't record yesterday, though yesterday was a significant day in the transplant process, just because I just ran out of energy. So let me tell you a little bit about yesterday. Lorelei was here when it happened, so I'm going to interview her a little bit about her experience of what happened as well. So yesterday was another unwell day. I probably will have unwell days between now and day 14 to 21 post-transplant. So I'm just kind of expecting them now every day. The significant thing that happened yesterday, other than just not feeling well all day long, was we received a platelet transfusion, and I reacted very poorly to it. I had a full allergic reaction. So what was happening is I was on Xbox party speaking with one of my granddaughters, and we were chit-chatting back and forth, and they brought the platelets and hooked it up, didn't disrupt our conversation. And she was playing Minecraft, and I was telling her that I just didn't feel well enough. I was in the hospital, and I just didn't feel well enough to play with her. And as they hooked up the platelets and started it, they asked me how I was feeling. I said, well, fine. And then I felt a little bit of a tingle in my throat. It reminded me that during dinner, I felt a little bit, it wasn't hard to swallow. It's kind of hard to describe. And it was hard to describe last night as well. But I felt a little tinge of something so I was just chewing my food a little bit more consciously and swallowing. But I guess the easiest way to say the swallowing was a little more difficult or different. So I said that to her. And then she said, well, if there's anything else or if something changes, let me know. And she left. And as I'm chit-chatting with my granddaughter, I look at Lorelei and I said, go get him. Get him right now. And I was having an allergic reaction to the transplant. And so I quickly told my granddaughter that I had to go, and ended our party talk, and the nurses came in. By the time they came in, I was in a full allergic reaction. So at this point, I'm going to ask Lorelei how she experienced it. Lorelei, you weren't here when I started my conversation with our granddaughter, I don't think, but you came in, shortly thereafter. And so, what was your first experience of what happened last night?
Well, you were on the computer chit-chatting with her, and I loved the interaction you were having, but I could tell you were getting a little cough, a little scratchy throat, and then you motioned, and I went and looked for the nurses. I couldn't find them in the hallway right away, so I rang them on the phone, and they came right away. And we moved you over to the bed, and you just kept coughing and coughing, and when they were checking your lines on, because you have this line here, it drags down your stomach, as they lifted your shirt, they noticed that you had some hives, and you just coughed more and more people came in. I don't remember, like 5 or 6 people were in here, both nurses, 2 mid-levels, and somebody else. Anyway, It's all kind of a blur. Unlike up until, I guess, a few days ago when I was taking like copious notes all the time. I was obsessively taking notes. I decided to stop that because it wasn't good for me or anybody else, for me to be obsessing over every single thing. And so I didn't take any notes about this. And it's a little bit of a blur. I don't have anything to refer to this time. The coughing got worse. You started to vomit, and you were having a really hard time breathing. Oh, before you started breathing really hard, you asked me to get your inhaler. I got your inhaler, and you took the inhaler, but you were still coughing even after that. And then you threw up, and they were talking amongst themselves about what would be the best thing to do, since they can't give you Benadryl, they can't give you Ativan, they can't give you any of the things that you had pretty much transplant day, because they want to avoid, anything that might have caused reaction before. And so they were just bouncing back and forth between each other, and they pretty quickly settled on cortisone and a couple of other things, and they gave them to you, and it immediately started to help. That was when I heard the term anaphylaxis for the first time, and I think it was from one of the mid-levels, and I was like, oh, I had always imagined anaphylaxis was your eyes swell and your throat closes and you can't breathe and essentially you die. But so I guess that was beginning to happen for you. Your throat was beginning to close up, and that's why you were gagging and producing all of that spit and then choking. Mucus, yeah. And so I'm sorry, this is not an easy thing to do, to kind of relive that. I never, and I've said this to a couple of people in texts and on the phone, I never want to see someone in anaphylaxis again. It wasn't as traumatic as what happened on transplant day, but it was still scary for me. Thomas didn't seem to be worried at all. He knew all these people were taking care of him. He knew that God has every hair on his head counted, and he was like, I'm gonna just go with the flow, whatever God decides to do. And I envy that faith. I've always been kind of the polar opposite, having to be reminded that God's holding my hand whether I feel it or not. So they managed that, and he was, so quickly afterwards, he was himself. Other than being tired, he was fine. So whatever they did was the right thing. And then before I got in here this morning, it had happened. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that yet.
Well, I will talk about that. Okay.
But anyway, so that's what happened yesterday while I was here. And then you went to bed, and then I went home back to the apartment and tried to get some laundry done and went to bed.
So yesterday, this morning, they decided to try to do it again, give me platelets. Now it's super necessary. My platelets are so low that even a small scratch could bleed and bleed and bleed. So they do need to get them up. And they brought me, they talked about this last night as well, to go wash the platelets like they did with Christopher's donation of stem cells. And so they thought that would be better, and it was, quite frankly, it was better. So last night I got about maybe 10% of platelets before they stopped the whole process. This morning I ended up getting about 2/3 of the platelets, so it was better. But I did have a reaction again, even with washed platelets. And so they are not sure of the why. Why am I reacting this way to it? So they took some vials of blood, and they're doing all sorts of tests on it right now with the bag of platelets that I was receiving. They want to see what, if possible, if they can determine what in that bag of platelets my body reacted to. Kind of like oh, come on, Tom. What did you just do, Lorelei?
A very, very fancy allergy
allergy
cross match.
Cross match. So
Yeah.
I think they even use that term, that they go do a cross match and try to figure out what it is that is causing me to have these allergic reactions. This morning was milder, as I said, but out of caution, they went ahead and stopped it, as I said, about 2/3 in. I think I could have taken the whole bag, but the same reaction, but milder. So I had hives, felt the closing in my throat a little bit, nowhere near as severe, but the mucus, lots of mucus. Didn't throw up this morning, got close. I told my nurse, you need to get some anti-nauseum medicine in me right now. And she quickly left, got it, and put it in me. And that took care of the I need to throw up feeling. And so, a little bit of a mystery. Those who watch this who are prayers and praying for us would appreciate prayers very, like right now, as you're watching this. What's going on? Don't know. But as Lorelei said just a moment ago, I do have great faith that Jesus is going to walk me through this, carry me through this, and I don't need to worry about it. I have great trust in the medical staff up here. There's nothing that anybody has done that has given me any concern about the medical care. Just quite frankly, the opposite. I think the care here is exceptional. Very, very exceptional. So I've liked all the nurses, except maybe one of the doctors.
He's a little grumpy man. He may be very good at what he does, but his bedside manner is, well,
not great. And I think he's a little too conservative. Like this whole thing with Benadryl. Benadryl would have helped a great deal, but because of my going into an epileptic type seizure that wasn't epilepsy, they discovered for sure it wasn't anything like epilepsy. Well, I mean, it wasn't caused by anything like epilepsy. It wasn't a neural, they put this thing on my head. I said that before.
EEG.
EEG. And so it wasn't like that. Or they ruled out epilepsy. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, but it looked like that. And so because that happened while they're giving me Benadryl, and Benadryl helps cross the brain-blood barrier, they don't want to risk it again. The thing is that they gave me very high doses of Benadryl.
Intravenously.
Intravenously. I've never had a reaction to Benadryl before. So I think, a regular dose of Benadryl would have been extremely helpful, both yesterday and today. But
I think the platelet reaction is kind of a signal to me that it's definitely something in the blood product and not the medications before that has caused the issue.
Right. So anyway, that's our update. Once again, this is day 12. Is it day 12 or day? Yeah, yesterday was 11, today's 12. The last time I did a recording was day 10. So yes, this is day 12. So the soonest the graft stem cells will be able to start producing blood products for me is in 2 days. That's the soonest. And then between 2 days from now and a week from now, or not from now, 2 days, or 9 days, or 9 days from now. There we go. I can do math. Whereas the as the Brits say, I mathed. Maths is what they say. They do maths. Anyway, so that's our update. Keep your prayers up. Appreciate all the love and support. And if you text me and ask questions, know that they're probably going to be short answers. I'm using this YouTube channel as the best means for me to keep everybody informed of everything that's happening to me in the process, including myself. So I can refer back to this channel because this is real, in the moment, when it happened, how I experienced it, videos. So thank you very much. We love you all. Bye.